The Goguryeo-Sui War of 598 is a significant military conflict between the Goguryeo Kingdom of Korea and the Sui Dynasty of China. The war was triggered by a Goguryeo incursion into Laoji, prompting Emperor Wéndi of Sui to take decisive action. He ordered his youngest son, Yang Liang, to lead a Chinese army and navy to conquer Goguryeo during the Manchurian rainy season. Assisted by the co-prime minister Gao Jiang, Yang Liang embarked on this military campaign with the intention of asserting Chinese authority and dominance in the region. The war marked a period of intense hostilities and territorial struggles between the two powerful entities. However, it did not result in a clear victor. The Goguryeo Kingdom, renowned for its military prowess and defensive fortifications, proved to be a formidable adversary. Despite some initial successes, the Chinese forces faced difficulties in penetrating Goguryeo defenses, and the campaign eventually ended in a stalemate. The Goguryeo-Sui War played a crucial role in shaping the geopolitical landscape of East Asia during the 6th century. It highlighted the complex power dynamics between the Chinese dynasties and the Korean kingdoms, laying the groundwork for future interactions and conflicts in the region. Although the war did not lead to a conclusive resolution, it remained a significant historical event that reflects the ambitions and military capabilities of both Goguryeo and the Sui dynasty. The year 1693 is traditionally ascribed to Dom Perignon's innovation in the production of champagne, a sparkling wine that has become synonymous with celebration and luxury. Dom Perignon, a French Benedictine monk and cellar master at the Abbey of Hautevillers, played a pivotal role in defining the techniques used to create sparkling wine. Champagne is produced through a secondary fermentation process that creates carbon dioxide bubbles, giving the wine its effervescence. While it is uncertain whether Dom Perignon was the first to encounter this phenomenon, he is credited with making significant contributions to perfecting the art of producing sparkling wine. He focused on improving the quality and consistency of wines produced in the region of Champagne, experimenting with different grape varieties, fermentation methods, and bottle closures. One of Dom Perignon's key innovations was the use of cork stoppers and thicker glass bottles that could withstand the pressure generated by the carbonation process. These advancements helped reduce the likelihood of wine explosions during fermentation, making champagne production safer and more reliable. While Dom Perignon's exact role in the development of champagne remains a subject of debate amongst historians, his dedication to refining winemaking techniques undoubtedly elevated the quality of wines from the Champagne region. Over time, champagne gained popularity among European royalty and aristocrats, becoming a symbol of luxury and festivity. Today, champagne remains one of the most celebrated and esteemed wines worldwide, commonly associated with special occasions and celebrations. The legacy of Dom Perignon endures in the name of the prestige cuvée produced by Moet and Chandon, one of the prominent champagne houses, as well as in the ongoing pursuit of excellence in champagne production. The Great Peace of Montreal is a historically significant treaty that was signed in 1701 between the French colony of New France, what is now Canada, and various Indigenous nations, collectively known as First Nations. The negotiations leading to the treaty took place in Montreal and were mediated by French authorities. The treaty aimed to establish a lasting peace and cooperation between the French colonizers and the Indigenous communities in the region. It was a response to the ongoing conflict and hostilities that had arisen due to territorial disputes, economic rivalries, and cultural misunderstandings between the parties involved. The Great Peace of Montreal recognized the autonomy and territorial rights of the First Nations, acknowledging their status as distinct nations with their own governance systems. The French committed to respecting the sovereignty of the Indigenous peoples and refrained from encroaching upon their lands. In return, the Indigenous nations pledged their allegiance to the French crown, promising to assist the colonial authorities in times of conflict and uphold peaceful trade relations. The treaty facilitated mutual cooperation and ensured a level of stability in the region during a time of colonial expansion. The treaty was not without its challenges, and conflicts between indigenous nations and European colonizers persisted in some areas. Nevertheless, the Great Peace of Montreal is considered a foundational document in the history of Indigenous European relations in Canada. It represents an early example of diplomatic engagement between European settlers and Indigenous peoples, highlighting the efforts to find common ground and establish a framework for peaceful coexistence. The eruption of Mount Isama in 1783 was a catastrophic natural disaster that occurred in Japan. Located on the border between Gunma and Nagano prefectures, Mount Isama is an active stratovolcano with a history of eruptions. The eruption of 1783, known as the Tenmei eruption, was one of the largest and most deadly volcanic events in Japan's recorded history. The eruption began on the 16th of June and continued for several weeks, releasing massive amounts of volcanic ash, rock fragments, and lava. The volcanic debris devastated nearby villages and agricultural lands, causing extensive damage and loss of life. The eruption had immediate and far-reaching consequences. Approximately 1,400 people lost their lives as a direct result of the volcanic activity. However, the disaster's impact extended beyond the initial eruption. The eruption's aftermath, particularly the deposition of volcanic ash on fertile lands, led to a severe famine that resulted in an additional 20,000 deaths due to food shortages and malnutrition. The Tenmei eruption also significantly affected regional ecosystems and climate. The thick layer of volcanic ash spread over vast areas, altering soil composition and disrupting plant and animal habits. Furthermore, the eruption released significant amounts of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, contributing to a temporary cooling effect on the planet, known as the Little Ice Age in Japan. The Tenmei eruption left a lasting imprint on Japan's collective memory and cultural history. It has been memorialized in various literary works, folklore, and artistic representations over the centuries. The disaster served as a reminder of the unpredictable forces of nature and the need for preparedness and disaster mitigation strategies in volcanic regions. In 1924, Mexico and the Soviet Union formally established diplomatic relations, signifying a significant development in international relations during the early 20th century. The move to establish formal ties between the two nations marked a strategic shift in their foreign policies and opened avenues for cooperation and engagement on the global stage. The establishment of diplomatic relations between Mexico and the Soviet Union was driven by several factors. Both countries sought to strengthen their positions in the international arena and enhance their economic and political ties with other nations. For Mexico, the move was part of a broader effort to diversify its foreign relations and reduce dependence on traditional allies. The Soviet Union, on the other hand, aimed to expand its influence in Latin America and secure support for its socialist ideology. The new diplomatic relations paved the way for increased trade and cultural exchanges between Mexico and the Soviet Union. They facilitated the exchange of diplomats, the opening of embassies, and the signing of bilateral agreements covering various areas of cooperation, such as commerce, culture, and education. However, it is essential to recognize that the establishment of diplomatic relations was not without its challenges and controversies. Many other countries, especially the Western powers, viewed the Soviet Union with suspicion due to its communist ideology. As a result, Mexico's decision to recognize the Soviet Union was met with criticism and skepticism from some quarters. Despite the geopolitical complexities, the establishment of diplomatic relations between Mexico and the Soviet Union demonstrated a commitment to engaging in pragmatic diplomacy and pursuing mutually beneficial partnerships. The move represented an important moment in the histories of both countries and contributed to the evolving dynamics of international relations during the interwar period. We hoped you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed creating it for you. If you found the content valuable, here's a quick favor we'd like to ask. First, give this video a big thumbs up and hit that like button. Your likes not only show appreciation for our hard work, but it also helps this video reach more people who might benefit from it. Secondly, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know whenever we release new content, ensuring you never miss out on any exciting updates. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media channels to stay connected beyond YouTube. We love engaging with our community and sharing additional content, behind-the-scenes glimpses, and updates on what's coming up next. And lastly, if you want to take your support to the next level and help us continue creating quality videos, consider joining our Patreon community. By becoming a patron, you'll gain access to exclusive perks and be an integral part of shaping the future of this channel. We genuinely appreciate your support, and it's because of viewers like you that we can keep producing content we're passionate about. So thank you once again for being a part of this journey. Remember to like, subscribe, follow us on social media, and check out our Patreon if you can. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.